All right, so here's a neat question about trying to sell things that might perish, perishable items, such as produce or baked goods or something of that nature. And you're still wanting to have a constant, markup. You want to make sure you're marking your things up and making, let's say you want to make a 5% profit on certain produce, but some of it's going to spoil. So let's take an example here. So let's say you've got the grocery store and you've got 1,000 pounds of onions, and they are 11 cents per pound. You want to do a markup of 200% based on cost. All right. And let's just say on average, when you sell or get onions, 5% spoil. 5% of those spoil before you can sell them. All right, so what happens here? So first off, I think you need to figure out, well, how much is this going to cost me? So 1,000 pounds of onions at 11 cents per pound. And we're just going to move the decimal place 3 times, 110 bucks. Okay, so $110 is your cost for these onions. Now 95% of them are going to spoil. So of those 1,000 pounds, you can't sell all 1,000 of them. You can't sell all 1,000 of them. So of the 1,000 pounds, you know that the 0.05 of them are going to spoil. 50 pounds of them are going to spoil. You can't sell 50 pounds of them. So what you wind up with is 950 pounds of onions to sell. So here's the idea. You've spent $110 on these onions. You actually have $950 to sell. And you want to make sure that you make your a markup of 200%. So what do you sell these things at price per pound? If you say 200% markup and you bought them for 11 cents a pound, you think, oh, 22 cents a pound, 200%. That's not how it works, because you're not going to sell all 1,000 pounds. So you have to make sure that you make 200% markup based on cost. You have to make $220. That's your 200% would be times it by 2. So let's make $220. But we have to spread that $220 of profit on 950 pounds. So if I want to have $220 in profit of markup plus my cost of $110, so I've got $330 that I need to make. I need to make $330 off of 950 pounds of onions. So I need to take 330 and divide that by 950 to get, and we're going to round this to the nearest cent. So 0.35 cents per pound. So remember, the idea here is you're going to base your cost off of the 1,000. But when you divide this, and that cost is, that's where you get your 110, and that's where you're going to get your markup. But now when you get price per pound, you don't use the 1,000 anymore. You use 950, 5% spoil. So that's going to be a little bit of a change in doing this question.